All right, Coach, heading into the final weekend of the regular season, a home and home with Boston College beginning tomorrow at Boston College. Senior night recognition Saturday. Just want to get your thoughts heading into the final weekend, what the group of seniors have meant to you and the team this year, and your thoughts going forward.
Yeah, well, it's hard to believe that the last weekend of the season's here. Um, Literally seems like yesterday we were just starting practice with this group, but I'm excited for them. We're in a great position here to compete against Boston College and put ourselves in a place, for opportunity possibly to play home next weekend in the playoffs. So that's an exciting opportunity for us. I'm excited for our seniors as well. I think we have 6 of them this year. It's so hard because it's not because of COVID. It's not your traditional seniors that have been here sometimes with you for 4 years. We have a couple grad students that are mixed into that group, but nonetheless, they've been a great group this year, and looking forward to bigger and better things with this group going forward in March.
Awesome. All right, we'll open it up for questions. Joe D, you want to start us off?
Thanks. Good morning, Cav.
Good morning, Joe. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Great, thanks.
The seniors who have been there for the whole time, like Roman and Harrison, what have they meant to the growth of the program?
Yeah, Roman's actually, a 5-year kid for us. So he was with that group that we recruited. Was like the second wave of recruits I say that we had, because that first group that we recruited, we lost to BU in overtime in the playoffs, and I thought that they had really set the standard for what our program was about. And then Roman came in with Yakum and Mark Gatcombe and Carter Turnbull, Johnny Evans. It was a huge class, and again we struggled that first year, but then really got better and better, and it culminated with us being a goal away from winning, the league title. And I was excited that, Roman had that redshirt year where he missed a year because of the blood clot injury, that he wanted to come back and spend his 5th year here. I think that meant a lot to me and the staff and the program, that he valued the program that much. And he's been a dynamite leader for us this year, and I'd love to see him go out the right way.
Has there been anything, and I know the season you hope has a long way to go, has there been anything that's been a big surprise about this team this year?
No, I guess the surprise was the start we had, because, we had 16 new faces, and we lost our top 2 lines and our goaltender from last year, not to mention a couple seasoned veteran defensemen. So for us to have the start we had was a little bit of a surprise. It didn't surprise me that we had a little lull in the middle of the season, and then lately we had a pretty good weekend. But we've played pretty consistent, Joe. I would say throughout the entire year we've played pretty consistent hockey, and with a group that's so young and new. That's probably the biggest surprise.
Thank you.
Sure.
Randy, we'll head over to you.
Thanks. Good morning, Cav. How are you?
I'm great, Randy. Yourself?
Very good, thank you. I wondered what effect you had just mentioned, how the senior class has been great leaders. Are there any undergrads, any guys that you've really seen benefit from their leadership? And I go back. I know at the beginning of the year, I know he's a grad student, but you had Ty playing with Matthew, who's the youngest player. And who are some of the guys that maybe benefited and how from the leadership of this group?
Well, I think, Matty Wood is from day one, he's almost been attached at the hip to Justin Pearson. They've played on the same line all year long. After practice, you'll see the 2 of them working on things together. So I think Matty's definitely benefited from Justin's mentorship. I think you see some of our defensemen although they're not, Jake Flynn and Harrison Reese have been great 4-year players for us. John Spetz is a junior, but Tom Messinio coming in and being able to learn from them. Hudson Shandor is a junior. I think he's learned a lot, and he's a great leader in his own right. So, but last year, Ryan Torberg and Nick Capone and Chase Bradley, as I alluded to earlier, they were playing in a position behind, the 6 guys that left, 6 forwards that left. And they've made the jump. I think successful programs. I used to always marvel at Dick Umili's programs because every year I felt that New Hampshire, when he was running the program, I'd say to myself, where did this kid come from? And where's this kid been? He'd always have a junior or a senior that had breakout seasons because, they earned their stripes and they learned the way when they were freshmen and sophomores under the upperclassmen. And then when it was their time to shine, they did. And I think, Nick and Ryan and Chase have done that for us this year.
Great segue into production from all 4 lines in your most recent game. It's kind of a softball, but how nice is it to have production from 4 lines, especially going into, this weekend, and maybe get guys, getting some reward from the hard work and 4 lines producing like they did.
Yeah. In order to beat a team of the quality of Boston College or any team we're playing the playoffs, you have to get production up and down your lineup. You can't be really reliant on one line or one power play to win you hockey games or one goaltender. It just doesn't work that way. You might be able to win one game that way, but you're not going to be able to win 3 games or 4 games, if that's what it takes in the Hockey East tournament, without production up and down your lineup, contributions from all your defensemen, and solid goaltending. So you have to have that depth. I don't think I've ever seen a team, win it all where they were just a one-line team.
Great. That's all I got. Thanks, and see you Saturday. Good luck Friday.
Thanks, Randy.
Daniel, we'll head over to you.
When you had the transfers come through last year, you said how, because of how successful that group was, you were a little more receptive to bringing in more transfers in the future. So now that you've hit on 3 more with Ty, Justin, and Andrew too, is that just kind of your confidence in going to the portal building a little more, and you still being, receptive to having more transfers?
That's a good question, Dan. I'm definitely receptive to grad transfers, especially kids that have maxed out their eligibility at a certain school, like a Justin Pearson, a Kevin O'Neill. Ty had he had been at BU for 5 years. So that I am, I'm still, I think, I don't know if leery's the right word, but I'm still maybe a little cautious of the 2-year transfer or the 1 year, the guy who's been at a school for 1 year and now he wants to transfer. I said, that's something I think you have to do a little more research. It's one thing maybe if he went to play for a coach and the coach leaves. There's all different scenarios. I think the point I'm getting at is when a player leaves because maybe he doesn't like the coach or he thinks it's too hard at that school, I'm not sure that's a kid we want to get involved with. But when it's a situation like a Justin Pearson, like the Ivy League kids who they don't allow them to stay there for 5 years, then I'm very interested because I do believe you can supplement your roster and add to your program with those kids.
Then of the guys who have eligibility left, have you felt or heard anything from them one way or another about if they're going to use that year here or if they're going to turn pro or just if they're going to be here another year?
Yeah, I think that's a question. We're really focused on the present. Certainly that's something that, I don't know how many we have. I think maybe Harrison, Reese, and Flinney might be the only, 2. I would certainly take them back if the right pro option didn't work for them. There's no question I would take those two back. I mean, they've been unbelievable kids on and off the ice for us here for 4 years. I would definitely want them, if they were so inclined to stay for a 5th year, I'd love for them to have it here at UConn, but we'll have those conversations when the season ends.
Then weather doesn't look super great on Friday. Is that affecting your travel plans, how you're going to get up and back to BC, or is it just the usual?
I don't know. I'm going to look right now, Dan. Is it bad? I didn't know.
Snow Friday night.
What time?
I think it's supposed to start like while the game's going on.
Oh, that's all right. As long as we can get there, we'll get home.
Cool.
I'm not worried about that. Getting there is a problem. So long as we can get there, we'll just head up tomorrow.
All right, Joe, we'll head over to you.
Sounds like Dan's a little more concerned about that than you are, Cap.
I know. Get a hotel up there, Dan. Spend the night.
How has Gauthier improved from when you saw him the first time? Obviously, he and Woody and the kid from BU were among the best freshmen in the conference this year. But how has Gauthier improved his game?
Well, I mean, when we played him, I think it was only maybe a second or third game, college hockey game. So, having watched him play, whether it was in the Beanpot or recently last weekend against Maine, he's such a physical force. He's big, he's strong, he can skate. He's got an incredible release, his shot. He gets it off so quick. He's certainly a guy that, he's a player that you have to pay attention to when he's on the ice, Joe. There's no question about that.
And I'll steal Dan's thunder here. Howard, Ty, and Ryan, will you get them back this weekend?
Ryan won't play this weekend. Ty is 50-50. We'll see how practice goes today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else for Coach, guys? Go ahead, Daniel.
Which Ryan?
Ryan Tattle.
What happened? He was hurt.
He got concussed last week in practice.